Hello and welcome back to the allotment plot. It is the 23rd of August and I'm just looking around the plot and just admiring it. It's definitely past its best now, and while there are lots of things ripening up, like the tomatoes and the beans are still producing heaps and heaps of pods, which is great. Lots of stuff is starting to go over, looking a bit scrappy. The dry weather has definitely affected the plants in that a lot of them have powdery mildew, which doesn't look great. It's a bit annoying, but it's just been so dry and hot, and also because I've packed so many plants together, there's no airflow, so actually I've kind of aided the mildew a little bit in that respect, but it's okay. It is the end of August, so it's expected that it will start going over soon and my flowers will start fading, but there are lots and lots of blooms still, and I'm collecting the seeds as and when they come available. So I'll be getting ready to sow my seeds, some autumn sowing this year, and then I'll sow the rest of them next spring, and then I'll direct sow some as well at the beginning of summer. So I'll have hopefully a very long period of flowers across the plot next year. Because I started on this area a few days ago, I think I might just carry on. I've got some more bits of cardboard that I can lay down, so I think I might tackle this section today and just get more of this space clear, because if I want to be autumn sowing, I need somewhere to sow my seeds, and that is supposed to be this space. This space is supposed to be my kind of flower meadow space, so I could really do with having this all clear. So I think I'm just going to get cracking with doing that and seeing how far I can get along in maybe an hour. For this section, instead of digging everything up, I am just going to cut down any remaining seed heads and then lay the cardboard on top. So this section is going to be more of a no-dig area, and I'll be interested to see if there is any difference next year in how the plants and weeds come up. By digging up the plants, I would be disturbing and opening up the soil, which would just encourage the weed seeds to germinate and grow. So hopefully, if I just have some dead matter underneath the cardboard, that will act as another barrier, and I'll get less seeds germinating, and hopefully we'll be able to get more flowers next year. Aside from being better for the soil, it's also better for me in that I don't have to lug multiple compost bags full of stuff to the tip, so it's more beneficial for everyone. The cardboard is working really well though. It's definitely a good barrier to the sunlight, and because it's cardboard, it's just going to decompose down, so I don't have to worry about adding any toxins or anything unnatural into my plot. The issue with using the cardboard is that when it rains, it obviously starts to disintegrate, and when it gets windy, it's being blown about quite a bit. So the structural integrity is weakened as soon as it gets laid down on the plot. So it'll constantly being replaced and covered up again. What I really need is some large, heavy-duty matting, like thick fleece or wool or something like this to cover the ground. All I seem to be able to find though is this Ground Tex black woven fabric. It's the stuff that's made of like really thin strips of plastic woven together, but it disintegrates so easily, and I am constantly finding bits of black plastic on my plot from people who've used it previously. I've actually managed to cover quite a lot of ground, which is really promising. I've run out of pallets though to lay over the top of the cardboard, and I was thinking about potentially starting to sort out this compost bin, but it just looks so overwhelming, and I don't know if I have the mental or physical capacity to sort this out today. I don't think any of this is going to be usable because it's full of sticky weed, and I don't really want to put that into my plot, so I think I need to get rid of all of the stuff that's in here, take it down to the tip. So I'm not really I'm not really in a position to do that at this exact moment, so I'm just going to leave this here and perhaps go and sort out the compost bin at the other end. But it is coming together. I'm clearing so much space, which is very, very exciting. Clearing this compost area is so tedious and exhausting, but it's going to feel so good once it's done. And thankfully, looking back at the footage, I can notice a difference. While I was doing it, it felt like I was making no progress whatsoever. That pile just didn't seem to go down at all, and it was really difficult to motivate myself to keep going because it just felt like digging a brick wall. It just wasn't moving in my eyes, but it is slowly getting somewhere. While I work in this area, I constantly have different thoughts about what I could do with it. I thought about putting an archway up. I've got some herbs that I want to put around the space. I then thought maybe it would be a good spot for a pumpkin patch and just throw some pumpkins in there next year and just have them spread along the ground. As you can tell, I am so undecided about what to do, but I've still got a little bit of time before I need to commit to anything. And even if I do commit to an idea, I can still change my mind. It's not 100% set in stone. I just know that I don't want a super messy, scrappy space right at the front of my plot, because I just know it will end up being some kind of dumping ground, a bit like what it became before I took over the plot. And I just don't want that for my allotment. It deserves better. It doesn't have the space for a designated dumping ground. So I want to make every area designed specifically for something and just have it look really aesthetically pleasing while also serving a purpose. Though I still haven't come up with a compost solution that I think is pretty and organised. So I'll just keep scrolling through Pinterest until I see something that catches my eye that I think could work on my allotment. In my previous video, I very briefly touched upon what life was like before my allotment, and I've been reading all your comments, and I just want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone for your really kind words and support with the channel and just being interested in me in general. I always knew that if I ever got an allotment, I would want to film the progress and share it on YouTube, and never really expected anything to come of it apart from perhaps some family members watching and liking out of obligation. But I've gained a sense of community that I never thought I would have, and I needed it so much, and I'm so grateful for everyone for being here. I feel so grateful to be able to inspire people and show people different things or new things, but also to learn from others as well and be inspired in turn. Growing up and being so ingrained in social media is so bizarre and isolating. Social media is often anything but social. However, with this channel and my Instagram, I have had some really amazing conversations, and I get to hear about your gardens and see and experience things that I never would do ordinarily. And it's just such a beautiful thing to be a part of. So please do keep sharing stories from your own garden. Tell me what you're growing, what you're looking forward to, what's going well, what's not going well, and any advice or questions that we can all share with each other. Life got so much more interesting for me when I stopped passively existing and instead began intentionally living. Life becomes so much more fulfilling when you really sit down and notice what is around you and fully engage with anything and everything that you do, with the conversations that you have, with the videos that you watch. And that's the vibe that I want to maintain throughout my allotment and YouTube channel journey. Barn swallows and dragonflies have been darting over my head this entire time that I've been recording, and I just feel so lucky to get to experience this life at this time. I am so tired and starving hungry. I don't think I can get much more done, and I've actually run out of space to put the sifted soil, so yeah, that seems like a natural place to end it today. Got quite a lot cleared though, and I can probably use this pallet next time I'm on the plot and take that out and use it to weigh down some more cardboard in the meadow area. So all good. All good work, but I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go home, get some food and have a rest, and I'll come back to the plot at some point soon. I made a courgette cake with the glut of courgettes and it was so good. I love it. I can't wait to make more of these next year. Look how pretty it is. Some of the sweet pea seeds have matured and are ready for harvest. They dry up, and then as they split, the skin will spiral up and it will release the seeds, which is pretty nifty, I think. I also had another huge harvest of tomatoes and a very big courgette waiting for me because I'd gone away for the weekend again and left the plot to its own devices. The weather is definitely turning and the wind and rain are battering the beans and they have a significant lean on them. This is how I spent the remainder of my day on the plot, sat in my greenhouse, watching and listening to the rain and feeling very relaxed indeed. I've been struggling for a few months with my insomnia and it's getting quite bad lately, but having my allotment has been such a blessing because it does help to draw me outside, and even if I don't have the energy to do anything huge, I can still just enjoy my space and appreciate little moments like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next allotment vlog update. Until then, stay calm and carry on growing. Bye!